Hi, I'm TK from the training company. We are going to take a look at 5 basic components of broad-based black economic empowerment, sometimes called B-BBEE or just BEE for short. Now you might ask yourself, why do I need to worry about BEE in the first place? Well, the short answer is your pressure is going to come from your customer or your client asking for your BEE certificate, as your compliance or non-compliance has a direct impact on their ability to score points on the procurement section of their scorecard. Number 1, our BEE strategy and its components should not sit in isolation. Yes, you can focus on the scorecard, getting the maximum possible points, trying to get the best possible level, but we do run the risk by doing that we are missing out on a couple of things. First of all, we could end up duplicating effort. That costs the business time and or money, and that is something that we actually don't want. Secondly, we could be exposing ourselves to other risks, which you might find out about in a subsequent video. Or thirdly, we could end up with a score or level that could have been better had we approached this holistically. Number 2, know which scorecard you are dealing with. It might seem like an obvious statement, but just like there's diversity in other components of life, there's actually diversity on the BEE scorecard as well. So the question has to be, am I dealing with what's called the generic scorecard? However, there are also specialized sector charters or sector codes. Am I perhaps what's called a qualifying small enterprise? I could fall under what's called the specialized enterprises scorecard. So again, point number 2, know which BEE scorecard you are dealing with. Number 3, what does the BEE scorecard look like? We've been making reference to it, but how does it all fit together? How does it all work? The 2013 amended generic codes has 5 components or elements that gets measured. To start off with, we look at ownership. Who owns the company? And on the generic codes, that has 25 points allocated to it. Management control. And that really looks at what does the business look like in terms of its demographics. 19 points on the scorecard. Skills development. 20 points allocated to it. The next is the big one, enterprise and supplier development, a massive 40 points. And then the last one is called socioeconomic development. Only 5 points on the generic scorecard. That's up to 109, and I can see the relative importance just based on the points allocation. Number 4, doing nothing is going to have consequences. Now, for a lot of CEOs or financial directors, BEE compliance simply comes down to the numbers. How much is it going to cost to become compliant, to build a scorecard and get verified, versus how much business do I stand to lose by not being compliant or not having that BEE certificate? The reality is, if I don't do business with government, or if my current non-compliant status is a non-issue to my current clients, the risk is relatively small. However, if I've got contracts coming up for renewal and me having a valid BEE certificate is a prerequisite to those contracts being renewed, now it becomes a significant risk. So the amount that I'm spending on becoming compliant needs to be offset against the 2 million, 5 million, 20 million that I might lose in that contract. Number 5, do not underestimate the complexity of properly implementing BEE in an organization. Now, the BEE scorecard might seem not that complicated. A balanced scorecard approach, we've got targets, weightings and measurement criteria, but that can really be seen as the tip of the iceberg. The real complexity is the 90% below the water that we do not see. If I want to do this properly and make this part of the fabric of my business, I need to have some other components on my radar screen as well. Who are my key stakeholders? What do they want from me? There's a lot of data required to build a scorecard, to maximize it, and then to go for verification. Just as important is the documentary evidence that supports that data. The different people involved in the process, the different processes, as well as the different policies. Beyond that, I need to also take a look at communication and training. The second last part is what risks are there in the entire process. The last part is the actual verification process. Now, looking at all of this complexity, one can see that even in a medium-sized business, there's dynamics that I do need to manage, or else I'm not going to get the result. And so I need to be able to have a finger on the pulse of each of these different components. And if I don't know how to do it, that's where the training company can definitely assist. And that is it for this video. If at this point in time your head is spinning a little bit and this all seems very confusing, I've been there, I know how you feel. What you need is someone to guide you step by step through the process. And that is what the training company can do for you as well as for your business. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And a very last thought, look after yourself and be kind to others.